Well, okay, first of all, hi, again. What's your name for the record?
My name is Ted Moellan.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
So I've recently graduated from MIT, and I'm now a postdoc.
Okay. MIT. So do you work there currently, or?
Yeah, I'm working in something called D-Lab, which focuses on projects for developing countries.
That's great. What did you get your PhD in?
Biomedical engineering.
Okay. How long have you been here?
Here at Occupy Wall Street.
Yeah.
For almost a week now, almost exactly a week actually. Drove down from Boston in the snowstorm.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Are you staying at the park, or?
So some nights I stay with people from the sustainability group. Last night I was here. 3 nights ago I was here.
And you came from Boston, you said. So you were in Occupy Boston?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm part of Occupy Boston.
That's great. How is it going there?
It's going great. It's very different from here. It's also very well organized, but facing a completely different set of circumstances. The city has been a lot more hospitable, I'd say.
Okay.
We still have power, so the pedal power efforts that I was involved with are more preemptive than anything else. Whereas here, the generators were taken away last Friday, and on Saturday, I was coming down here to offer some of Occupy Boston's generators.
That's great. Have you witnessed the police action here?
No.
Have you been here? No. Is there anything like that in Boston?
There was previously, but not for a while. It's been very peaceful.
Okay, that's great. Well, in Occupy Wall Street, when someone gets sick, there are, I think, doctors on call here. Do you have the same thing in Boston?
We have, medic tent, and I don't know if they're doctors, nurses,
right.
EMTs, but we have a pretty effective system where people call out and use the same mic check approach.
That's great. Do you know if they coordinate with Occupy Wall Street, or are they entirely separate?
They're not entirely separate, which I can tell you because I'm here,
right.
And I'm very actively looking to have the corresponding groups working on alternative power and also on winterization, heating. Very interested in having them collaborate and in expanding the collaboration to Occupy Philly, Occupy Providence, which is just forming, and Chicago. All these places will be facing the same difficulties, and it would be fantastic if we manage to solve the challenges that we're facing, if everyone could be pulled through and not just the one group that solves it.
Actually, on that, what public actions do you think are the most helpful to the occupiers? Other than donating, of course.
So public actions of people,
citizens, yes, who are not here.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it has to be directly connected to the Occupy movement. I think Occupy raises awareness and maybe gives people more of a sense of courage and that they're not alone. But people switching from Bank of America to another bank because they don't like the bank's practices, I mean, the encouragement of that sort of thing, I think, has been a major positive influence. Right, of course, no one's going to switch bank accounts just because there's an Occupy. It's because of something that they're feeling. But the Occupy has, made people more brave and more coordinated.
For the people who aren't here, what is one thing that you wish that the people who are not occupying a space would do?
The people who are not, so I wish that I suppose I wish they would come down and take a look around objectively. But at the very least, they should understand that the question, what are you protesting, is not appropriate at this point. This is a community here, and we have another awesome, thriving community in Boston, and it's really something that one can appreciate in its own right, something which hasn't happened previously, and can be appreciated as a sociological phenomenon, whether you agree with it or not. So the notion that you have to be protesting something, or that everyone here is unemployed, or none of that is accurate. You cannot describe everyone here in one way. That is kind of a fundamental aspect of the movement.
Okay. What are your thoughts on? Excuse me for asking this, but the presidential candidates, Obama, Perry, Kaine, Romney, do you think that any of them will be helping the movement?
Helping the movement. Well, so I mean, I prefer not to think about the coming election. I'd rather see Obama back in office than Perry or Kaine or Romney, but that's not saying that I'm happy with his performance, or even that I plan to go out to vote for him. I mean, you have to be inspired a little bit to go out to vote for someone. I think Obama has not in any way, shape, or form been pushing the types of issues which are common in the movement, which is why there is an Occupy, because government was not, even under Democratic control, was not filling a need.
Right. Do you feel as though, I mean, it's still very early days in the movement, but do you feel that so far it has been successful?
I think that it's I mean, you could ask the same question about an 8-week-old infant. It wouldn't be any better a question. It's not really something which you can deem successful at this point. It's revolutionary. It's amazing. I don't know where it's going.
Well, what is your opinion on the mass media's portrayal of Occupy Wall Street?
Honestly, everything I know about it this past week, I've gotten secondhand from fellow occupiers and people passing by, and my mom. I mean, I'd say that it really depends who you're tuning into. I think all the information that you could want is probably available. The coverage by any one news agency tends to be horrendous, but we have the option of tuning into lots of different news agencies now, so I think most of the info is out there, along with a lot of misinformation. I've seen or heard about now myself being misquoted pretty bad with regard to the bikes, so you have to take everything with a grain of salt.
Well, speaking of the bikes, actually, could you explain their presence here and how they were created?
Sure. Well, so the Pedal Power initiative, the objective is to produce electricity using bicycle-based generators. So you're spinning a motor with bicycle pedals and thereby creating electricity, which is stored in batteries and then used for lighting, charging cell phones, charging laptops, and then a whole bunch of group-specific activities that go on in the kitchen, in the media area, in the medic area. Now, a week ago Friday, the city came in and took all of the diesel generators out of here. And at that point, within hours, email lists at MIT were getting calls for help, saying, and also our list at Occupy Boston, our Pedal Power list, people just saying, can you do anything to help them at all? And of course, we're preparing Pedal Power, and our situation isn't urgent, and there was a good mobilization, I'd say, to help out Wall Street.
Do you think they will be able to last through the winter if the cops do not give the generators back?
If I have anything to do with it, they will, and I know a lot of other people who feel that way. So yeah, I think that it's doable. If it doesn't happen, it's not because we couldn't do it. It's not impossible, but we have a lot of Well, I mean, interpersonal issues to deal with, right? As the situation starts to get more tense, as it's colder and daily life is harder. I mean, I think if we can overcome interpersonal conflicts, we can definitely master the technology of keeping people warm. That's not too hard.
Well, I know that Occupy Wall Street is prepared to stick it out through New York's infamous winter, but Boston has very similar winter to New York. So if you've been there, how do you feel their preparations for the winter are going?
Well, so a lot of it has been going on in my absence in the past week, and I'm still involved via email and texting. The planning has, as I understand it, been joined by the urban planning departments at various schools and one or two professors even. So they have the expertise they need. The question is where to focus attention, right? Realistically, I don't think that we can heat large spaces or even tents efficiently, but we can certainly heat bodies, and you know, I mean, that could be done with the energy that we store in batteries from pedal power. That can be done with energy from solar power or turbines. Everyone has to, cooperate, get behind one of them, and quickly, because it was cold last night. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to share? Any thoughts?
Not a single thought. No. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you.